Did you see recently that there's been some talk about McGregor fighting Mayweather?
Oh yeah, yeah.
I saw McGregor. So I guess that McGregor posted sort of a mock-up of a face-to-face
Mhm.
weigh-in type scenario with the two of them on his Instagram, I think. And then Dana White commented that, hey, Conor is under contract with the UFC, so if Floyd wants to fight Conor, he needs to come to me.
It
And I think
Can I
some
jump
people,
in? It
yeah,
didn't go quite like that. So the
okay,
rumor was started by Mayweather, right?
hmm,
That's where it started from, and um, uh, people were like, "Oh, it's not true, this and that," and they're like, "Mayweather, yeah, did you hear this?" He's like, "Yeah, not only did I hear this rumor, I started this rumor. I want to fight Conor McGregor." And Dana White was like, "He's not serious about it, whatever. But if you want to do it, call me." And it wasn't like I just feel like the vibe is a little different than you put it out. Dana White is like, "Yeah, yeah, call me. Let's set this stuff up." He'd like nothing more than to have Conor fight Mayweather, but
really?
I
In the
think
UFC.
so. I think it would be a very high profile fight.
In the
That
UFC or in
It would
boxing?
be a
They were
very,
saying.
That's
very
not
high.
even defined yet. I think they're mostly talking about a boxing match, and
Mm.
um, so but even if McGregor loses, does that bring a lot of attention that the UFC
What do you
otherwise
mean
wouldn't have
even?
had
He would
He
lose.
will lose.
in
Yeah.
boxing? Yeah,
So
yeah.
Mayweather's one of the best boxers that there has ever been. Now, whether
Hmm.
he's better than Pacquiao in his prime or not, who gives a fuck? I don't fucking care. I'm just
Right,
talking
right.
about pound for pound, talented guys who are good at winning boxing matches, not
Hmm.
necessarily putting on a show. He's the best at that. He's one of the top three best that there have ever been at that. Is at least in modern history, like since in recorded history and shit. Maybe some Greek fucker like a long time ago could really put up his dukes, but this guy's a badass. And McGregor is, I'm guessing, a very good boxer, even on the world scale. He couldn't be a professional boxer though.
He'd be a journeyman, maybe, right? Like,
What does
He'd
that
be in the
mean?
lower tiers of the professional boxing leagues.
What does journeyman mean?
it's a guy who is a legit pro, winning record, but not an all star.
You
Oh,
think
okay.
that well?
I don't think that he
And
would
I don't know anything about
even
it.
be
I'm just
that.
I think he was a pro boxer, at one point, Conor McGregor, and um, some people might say he does less than that. Who knows? But the thought process amongst a lot of people who pay attention to this sort of thing is that even just the eyes they bring on the UFC would be good, even if their
oh
guy
yeah,
lost.
it would be massive. It would be massive. I'd love to watch the fight. I like
Well,
Mayweather.
I,
I don't. I guess it's hard to like him personally because he's such a, you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
But
He doesn't seem
sometimes
very
he'll do a,
nice.
no, he doesn't. But sometimes he'll do a thing that you're glad. He's almost like Trump in a way. You're like, he's a son of a bitch, but he's almost my son of a bitch because he did that thing that I like. And I like his bets. I like when he goes out there and bets $10 million on something ridiculous like that. And I feel like I like that. I like
I'd
seeing that.
I'd love to see Mayweather fight McGregor. So the thing about McGregor is like his really dangerous thing is his hands, right? His left hook in particular. Joe Lozon has this line that everything is smoke and mirrors. It's all set up for that left hand, and it's like, oh, if there was a boxer that would ever be competitive in MMA, you'd think it'd be Mayweather against a guy like McGregor. McGregor doesn't want to take him down. He probably could. He's probably great on the ground compared to Mayweather, but I can't recall McGregor taking anyone down except for the panic wrestling on
I think he would beat uh,
Diaz.
Mayweather badly if he took him to the ground. But any sort of stand-up fight it's going to be a bloodbath. Not like
There's
what's
kicks
his
and
name?
range.
McGregor is just like like stunned the whole time. But just the way Mayweather fights, like McGregor's not going to be able to handle that.
What
I
if
think he
what
would
if
knock
Connor
him
kicks
out.
him in the leg? I don't know. I would love to
Oh, I
see
didn't
That's
know
it.
not a
if we're
boxing
doing.
match.
Yeah, if we're doing kickboxing,
I
kickboxing, Connor wins.
Yeah,
You could leave it right there. You don't even have to go into MMA. At kickboxing, I think Connor wins just because of his
Mayweather is
length
a
and his
boxer.
legs.
Yeah,
right.
anything but boxing is not going to win.
When they put James Toney in there against Randy Couture, this is years back. It's like, what a terrible matchup. What a god awful matchup. Randy Couture is an Olympic level wrestler against a boxer. He goes in there, takes out his foot. I feel like we just talked about this. Was it pre-show?
Mm.
And he takes the guy out, and he basically takes him down to the ground, and then Tony has no idea what to do next. But that's not McGregor. Like, if there's anyone who wants to stay on their feet, I can't think of many fighters who'd rather stay on their feet than McGregor. So I just like
Hard
to
to
But he
see
put on
that.
a
only
show
likes
if you're
to
laying
stay. He
down.
likes to stay
I
on
bet he
his
sees it
feet.
that way.
he likes to stay on his feet because, like, on the UFC spectrum of boxing, if this is the top, he's right here. On the boxing spectrum of boxing, he's right here.
I think you're right. That's what the experts are saying.
But the thing is, it wouldn't matter if on the boxing spectrum he was up here somewhere, because the guy he's fighting is up here somewhere. Mayweather is an incredible boxer. I don't know a lot about boxing, but I've watched, like, I don't know, 2 or 3 hours of coverage of Mayweather and people dissecting him, and people who do know about boxing talk about him. It's a sort of a chiz educated expert opinion, if you know what I mean. And from what I've heard and read and what the experts say, this guy really is legit. He's dodged a lot of people, and there's the whole thing with Pacquiao, but Jesus Christ, he's deadly with his hands, and he's evasive. He's so evasive that here's how I think a boxing match would go. I think he goes out there and makes Conor look like a fool. Fool. Because Conor is throwing punches that aren't connecting. They aren't even coming close, and Mayweather's smiling at him. And he's smiling at him for like a round or two, just making him miss and backing up, and maybe every now and then just blooding his nose a little bit and then backing up a little more. And it would go like that for round after round until either McGregor got stupid enough that Mayweather knocked him out, or they go to decision. Yeah. Mayweather's cool with that too.
I've heard an expert who had the same opinion, that he would just make McGregor look like a fool. And one of them, like, it was Brian Callahan, whatever his name is in The Fighter and the Kid, and he's been in the ring with outstanding people, and they play games. They're like, all right, let's spar for a bit. Here's the deal: I won't hit you. And he's just like, missing, all trapped up, and it's like, God, it's almost worse than you hitting me, because he just looks like an idiot.
Because now you don't look like you're fighting and losing. You look like you shouldn't even be out there. You're fighting with a guy who's dancing around you, laughing at you, and you can't even touch him.
Yeah. You're just on the generals at that point, just getting the fool made out of you.
Like at the beginning of Kill Bill 2, when the Kung Fu master's like, if you can even touch me, I will bow down and call you master. And then Uma Thurman's like, and she can't fucking touch him because he's that good. That's how it would be. I don't think McGregor can punch Mayweather in the face.
That's what McGregor was saying. Personally, I want to see it.
He would go out there doing his same thing of like you said, smoke and mirrors and a bunch of nonsense to try and distract him. And Mayweather would be like, You know this is my job, right? I've been doing this for a couple of years. Yeah, you're not going to fool me. You know all those other boxers who are also way better than you? Yeah, I haven't lost to any of them. So come on, step up.
That's really well put. So that happened with Nate Diaz recently. So as you know, like in striking, Conor McGregor has really high-level striking. The thing about the Diaz brothers, though, is they're also boxers. Nick Diaz was a pro boxer. Nate Diaz just trains with lots and lots of pro boxers. So one of the things about him with McGregor was that, like, what McGregor's got going on, all the smoke and mirrors and ways to set up that left, was nothing new to Diaz. Like, he's trained with guys who are better boxers than anyone in the UFC all the time. So he wasn't surprised, motherfucker. Boxing
is a science, and I don't even claim to even understand the very basics of it, but I can watch it and understand what I'm seeing. And it's not just two guys standing there wailing on each other. If you're a great boxer, then your footwork alone will make the other guy look like a fool. Yeah. I'd love to see that fight, but I would like to see it. I don't know what it should be. If it's a straight-up boxing match, I would still watch it. I'd still pay for it, but I don't think it's as interesting as some sort of an in-between compromise, so that they both get, what size gloves are they wearing, for example? You going to put Mayweather out there in 4, 6, 8-ounce gloves? What are you going to put him in? I mean,
how's his defense with those gloves?
Oh, very good point. I have in my, now I don't know this, now I'm going out on a limb here, but I'm imagining Mayweather's the kind of guy who could, like, just catch your punches all day. Like, keep throwing them. I'll fucking tap the front of your...
It's like he's got one hand he protects with the glove and the other hand with his shoulder, and he keeps his chin in this shoulder roll. And so I guess that works with gloves too. I'm not even sure.
And he's always backing up. His main gear is reverse.
You want a new topic? I feel like I'm not expert enough to talk about boxers.
That's never stopped us before. I mean,